It is 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and we are ready to call the meeting to order. Okay. So, proof of quorum. We've got Mark Lemon, Arnold Harper, Rose, and Rob. So, Danny is not here yet, but we do have a quorum with the four of us. So we've got that. Next thing on the agenda is I guess to go back, we also have residents or owners, Paul and Ronna Rothschild and Diane Felstein.
Zelda Claire just showed up.
Hey, and Zelda Claire.
Hi, Claire.
Said that he's a good kid. Said they were a happy family.
All right. So the next thing we need to do is read and or waive the previous minutes.
I would make a motion that we waive the reading of the previous minutes as they were sent out to everyone and posted on the Google Drive and YouTube.
We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. In favor? Aye.
Aye. Who was the second?
Arnold.
Thank
Arnold. And unanimous decision.
Excellent.
All right. So moving on, first item is the Right Way Milton cleanup invoice status. I honestly can't give you one any more than what we've had so far. I've had a couple communications. The first one was with, and I don't have her name in front of me. It's really irrelevant, I guess. And I told her that I need to have a printout, or we need to have a printout of what they're accounting on their end, because what they're saying right now is that we owe them for the Milton cleanup, which is $66,000. I thought we had paid all but 16,000 of that. I thought we had a meeting and we told David pay the 50,000 and there should only be 16,000 left to pay Right Way no matter what. But they're saying that we owe them 66. So either we didn't give them the 50 when we as a board decided to give them the 50, or they're accounting for it differently and they're applying that money to the Helene clean. And so I said, give us a printout, CC me and Palmer, and nobody's heard back from them again. Until yesterday, I got a email or a voicemail from Ian Landry, who is like the project coordinator, just saying or stating that we owe him 66,000 and when were we going to pay? So I still need to do a little more research on that, and I need to look back at all the financials, I guess, and really see what we have paid Right Way and what we haven't paid them, because somebody's not applying payments properly, or payments weren't made that I thought were made. That's the update I can give you. I don't know if anybody else on the board has any information on Right Way, but that's all I know right now.
Okay, excuse me, Diane, Paul, Rhoda, one of you are having a conversation in the background.
Not me.
It's not me.
Okay.
Must be me.
So if you mute yourself, that's fine. You can have your conversation, but
Yeah, I think it was Diane. Okay, I'm sorry.
So again, I'm under the impression we owe Right Way maybe 16,000, but they're looking for 66, and that's, it's still an ongoing negotiation, and that's the update I have at this point. So any other comments? Anybody got any questions on that? Okay. the next item then would be WSV progress update. New locks, sliders, and rows. I do know that, I mean, I guess we all do, that the sliders are going in. So I'll let Rose take it over from here and give us the full update.
The sliders are going in, at least 2 were installed as of this morning, one in Claire's unit and I can't remember which other unit. Now, it does have by code this 3-inch bar across the inside of the unit that you have to step over to get into the lanai.
And that's a removable piece or a non-removable,
I don't believe it's removable.
but it's by code, so we really have no option.
Yes, it's a bit of a trip hazard.
So the city has a code to promote trip hazards.
Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to Patrick. I didn't see him today and ask him about that.
Now, when we say code, my understanding is that in order to qualify as hurricane resistant, I believe is what we ordered, it has to have that to stop the water from coming in from under the door. However, most of them are removable, but when you remove them, you also remove the hurricane resistance, which would theoretically void the warranty. Now, whether we bought the kind that they can be removed after the fact, or whether they're permanently installed, that I cannot tell you.
And I honestly don't know. I know that we want hurricane resistant doors, and if that's what we need to put up with, hopefully people learn to lift their feet.
No, it's an issue.
You think it is an issue to
Sure.
the point where we should hold things up and not let any more doors be installed?
For older people, it's probably a trip hazard
Mm-hmm.
until they get used to it.
I don't want to see anybody hurt, of course, but I'm not sure what we're supposed to do if it's actually something that's required.
I don't know if you can see this picture. If you can see this, can you see this picture?
Hold it up a little higher.
It's a metal bar that's on the inside,
Uh-huh.
and it's about 3 inches up that you have to step over. You've got the jamb, which is wide. So you got the metal bar and then the jamb. So you're stepping over quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They affect us because they didn't have to put a new door in. No.
I'm gonna see if Patrick's will pick up.
Well, the fact that it's a metal bar that's separate from the
It does look like it's separate from the actual structure itself.
structure,
is.
it looks like it can be removed.
It looks like it can be removed. To me. Because it is metal and everything else is plastic or PVC or.
It looks like something they added after the fact to meet the requirement.
Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't pick up, so we can't ask him the question directly right now.
Let me text him and see if he'll get back to me.
Hello, Daniel.
So,
Well, welcome. So the record to show that Daniel joined the party.
yep,
Says
So-
Neil.
The locks, most of the locks have been installed except for one of the units. I'm not sure why. It's Wes sent me the codes for all of the units except for 46. 46 he put not applicable. And I will text him and find out why. I just.
My guess is Joanne doesn't want that lock on her door.
That's exactly correct. I've had this discussion and argument, so
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Okay,
Okay, I
so,
mean, I don't know that we can force anybody to put the locks on to match every other unit, although it was Joanne's vote that made everybody take the trim off the windows. So I don't know if we want to force the issue or not. I certainly don't want to pick any fights with Joanne.
I have the keys, which I'm turning into, Palmer Management on Tuesday. I will email everybody their key, their combination code and, to get access to their units and also to give to any contractors that they want to allow into their units.
Mhm.
That way I'm not running back and forth all the time.
Right, now we have key code or punch code, so everybody can, no more keys necessary.
Correct.
Because every lock also has a key.
Yes, all those keys are being turned into Palmer Management.
All right.
Yet she's gonna.
And each unit owner has a set of keys also?
No, they'll pick them up from Palmer Management.
Okay, so unit owners need to pick their keys up from Palmer.
Yeah, right now, the only people who have keys are Joe and Nancy and Claire and the tenant in 44 and my tenant in 43.
Okay,
Because I don't want to have to run back and forth and
well,
don't.
no, I understand, and there's key codes, you shouldn't have to go back and forth anymore. Which is awesome, and am I, so. All right, good. Go ahead.
That's it for the keys. They were finishing the flashing on the roof today. They said 2 days ago, they said it would take 2 days to finish, but there was rain. So I'm assuming they should have everything finished today. They were finishing it looks really nice.
Good.
Much nicer than our roof.
It was
And
supposed to match.
it doesn't match. But
I'm kidding, but if it looks better, then hopefully we can make the other one match it maybe, or whatever.
it looks better.
Good.
And they had some finish up on the top of the roof, which they said they'd have that done too.
Now,
Better.
question, they were gonna go back onto the north building and do some fixes on that. Do you know if that's been done?
They didn't say anything to me about that, the two workers.
Okay, they may not have been
Privy to the information.
privy to that information because the challenge we have is that Galloway has changed management on this project 3 times since it started.
Why?
Daniel,
Go ahead.
Daniel,
Yes,
can you follow up on that?
I've been following up on, as far as, what do you need them to look at on the, north building? Tell me.
They had somebody, WSV was up, or not WSV, I'm sorry, Galloway and who's the roof the manufacturer?
GAF. Well, I know about
GAF.
that.
JF and Galloway were physically up on the roof on our
On the north
building.
building? North building?
Yes, before the whole project started. And they both said, oh, we've got some repairs here to do. We'll do those repairs immediately after we finish the south building.
Well, the south building's not done yet anyway, so I'll follow up. It might be done today, but so there's really hadn't been time for them to follow up. So in reality, if they told you that, they're not out of line, and I will follow up to make sure they take care of the repairs to be done on the north building. I talked to them a couple
And
days
I mean,
ago.
what kind of repairs are we talking about? Are these warranty repairs or?
Yeah, what are they, the repairs? You talked to them, what?
They
know.
had a list of things. It made no sense to me. They just both came down and they both said, yeah, there's some things that need to be done.
In reality, on the north building, if we may go back, unfortunately, now on the south building, we're gonna get a warranty, okay, from GAF. But on the north building,
Yeah, I don't even know why. GA
there's
would have
no
been-
warranty on the north building. We didn't, unfortunately, didn't go right.
Well, interestingly, GAF was there to do an inspection and he wasn't sure whether, my understanding, whether it was the north or the south building.
My guess is he was on the wrong roof.
Yeah.
Right, because there's gonna be a warranty on the south building. 100%. There is not gonna be a warranty on the north building. The only warranty that we could even possibly get is not gonna be on workmanship. It will be on the material itself. Now, the south building, we will have a warranty for 20-year labor and 20-year material, total warranty. He's like, probably, Paul, Rob's right, he was probably on the wrong building, to be quite honest. I agree.
I think so.
Okay, I'll look into it, but we're gonna get a warranty on the south building, not on the north one. And
That's
if there are any
what we're
repairs
looking
to
at.
be done on the north building, I'll look into it.
Well, and if we have to do repairs, and even if we have to pay for it, so be it. I mean, and now's the time to do those repairs before the rain season starts.
I agree. I'll check into it.
While we're talking about the north building, the lanai's roofs are leaking.
That's
All of
under
Number
new
9
business.
on the agenda today.
I mean, yeah, it's a little further
All of them
down.
are leaking, or
I'm
Some
sorry,
of them are.
everybody's speaking at once.
which ones are leaking?
It doesn't really matter which ones are leaking right now. We'll talk about that when we reach it on the agenda. We're not quite there yet.
Okay,
So if we're done talking about the repitch of the south building, which is going well and looks great and should or possibly be completed today. We're not 100% sure, but
And then we're gonna
Everybody's
wait for
happy.
the warranty to settle up with them.
so the next thing on the agenda, item 6 is water heater instructions and an attached PDF. So I don't know if as a board, we need to really go over that. And I mean, if there's an attached PDF and there's something for everybody to sit down and read, I don't feel obligated to read it to them. However, this isn't my item, so if anybody'd like to talk about hot water heater instructions, please carry on.
Well, I'll only make the point that it's also posted on the bulletin board wall, so there shouldn't be any question how to turn your hot water heater on when you go back to your unit.
Okay, good. Item 7 on the agenda is Daniel's submission of receipts for the ceiling leak and discussion. Daniel, you got some receipts?
No, I haven't had time to do that, but I'll bring it up.
That's fine. So let's move right on.
And I'll bring it up to the next month. I'll submit them.
Absolutely fine, Dan.
Thanks.
Hey, item 8 is new business. Units 49 and 50 erosion. Zelda,
Yes.
you're 49. Would you like to speak on this before I do?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my computer's acting strange. Hello. Thank you all for everything you're doing. Yes, I know that we had the railroad ties there before and now they're not there. And so there's literally just nothing to keep the water from flowing through. Now, I know that the railroad ties are not really like there to keep the water. I mean, I think they did a little bit, it did help, but it was something, and there's nothing there, and it's really very stressful to not have anything there to keep the water from flowing in, if that makes any sense. I mean, there's nothing there. Like the railroad ties, at least
Knowing you.
they at least
what
gave like
they're-
a psychological
Thanks.
help that there was something keeping the water away, and now there's nothing, and it's just like you're just
I mean, from my recollection, behind your place, you've got those two big, beautiful palm trees that are just before a couple railroad ties that are there. And those trees are holding back more erosion than anything we can do by man. So my thoughts on the issue is we definitely had an issue at the other end, and we have sandbags there right now. So what you're really proposing at this point is a long-term project or discussion and raising of funds to do something more permanent across the whole back of that building, not just units 49 and 50, which are 2 units away from where the erosion problem really is. So, you know, I think the very beginnings of that kind of a project is going to start with engineers and an engineering firm to come in and look and really give us a scope of what we're looking at. I personally don't see any erosion issues beyond where the sandbags are. I don't think the sandbags are a permanent solution. You know, something more permanent has to be put there. But that erosion was really from roof runoff and poor gutter systems. And we spend a lot of money improving the roof and the gutters and the drainage on that side. So, you know, it took 40 years or 30 years of me living there to see that wash away. And now that we've done all the improvements we've done, it may take another 30 years for it to do the same thing. You know, so again, this is a long-term project. If the board wants to continue to discuss the matter, again, my opinion would be we start with an engineering firm and they come in and say, you know, the bank is stable or it's unstable. I think with those mangroves there, we're very limited on what we even can do. Could we look into filling the backside of the mangroves? I doubt they'll let us. I mean, but unless we talk to professionals, it's, you know, you can't touch the mangrove. You can't even trim it. I could only imagine if we wanted to dig along there and put in a seawall. So, and I mean, really, realistically, Claire, that's the only thing that's going to save you would be a seawall. And even at that, it's not going to save you because the water is going to go over the top of it. We'll flood again someday. It's been shown already. History has proven itself. Further
so
discussion?
in
The
the
same go
interim,
for us.
Sorry.
Rob, does the same go for us? We're 50.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, Ronna, behind your place, I see no erosion.
Okay, I'm
You
with
know,
you. Oh, that's okay, forget.
Your path is still there. Everything that used to be there is still there.
I'm not worried.
I
It's
don't
okay.
see the erosion.
Okay,
The erosion again was from roof runoff, from bad gutters and overflowing roof pans, and it washed that dirt away over 30 years.
okay,
right.
so
Coming off the roof. It wasn't the tidal water that took our soil away. It was rainwater that took our soil away.
so there were railroad ties in place.
Yes, and they
will
did float
Can
away.
we please have those replaced? That's what I'm asking.
It's not going to solve your issue. Can we? Those, Diane, you found those from like the railroad or something like that, right?
WSV, Patrick told me that he can get them for like $60.
Yeah, I mean, we can budget towards that in a future budget, but we don't have the money for that right now. And I have no problem entertaining the idea of, you're talking landscape enhancements, and if landscape enhancements make you feel better, I'm sorry for bursting your bubble, landscape enhancements will float away in the next flood. It's not gonna retain the.
It's not landscape
Yes, that's what
enhancement.
it is. Those are railroad.
It's to give me some like peace of mind as I watch the water come closer. So
Yeah,
if
but
you're
they're
not
not
going to do
gonna
it in
stop the
this
water.
budget,
Clearly,
Rob, if
they're
you're
not
not going to do it in this
stop the
budget, if
water.
I pay for it, can I just give you the bill?
Yes. If you
And then
pay
you can
for
just
it, then
pay me
you can do whatever. As
2026?
far as I'm concerned, we've always let anybody do what they want behind their units. And if you want to have a little wall built back there, so long as it meets city codes, I have no problem with it.
Okay, so since Mark let me know that that is actually an HOA thing, so should I get new railroad ties, put them in, and then I will submit a bill to the HOA, and then you can repay me when your funds come in?
I won't promise that. I might not be on the board to make that decision when the funds come in. So I'm not making those promises. If you want to pay for it out of your own pocket, feel free. If you want to bill us for it, take your risk.
Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome. Anybody else want to discuss any talk on this matter before we move on to the next item on the agenda?
Yeah, do you mind if I ask a quick question, Rob?
Absolutely.
On what you were talking about, any kind of like flood defenses, I completely, absolutely understand what you're saying. I think Claire was saying psychologically she wanted something in place, which is just not the way, is it? Because nothing will work. But actually out on, what's the actual like
Marion Avenue?
on Marion Avenue, like the concrete wall that comes around.
Yep.
Could you ever go to the town and ask whether that could actually come behind the villas there, so that actually there is actually a concrete wall? Could you ever go to the town about that? Because
I
of
mean,
obviously
again,
the flooding
again,
and you're so susceptible to it. So they've protected obviously I know if it floods the downtown bit, but it comes into that kind of channel behind. The concrete wall just kind of stops, right? And then the mangroves come through until it goes under the road.
I understand what you're saying and what you're talking about. And
that would be the only way, wouldn't it?
When the city did their work out there, instead of sandbags, they use Sacrete sand mix, like the bagged concrete mix, and they stacked those up. And, over the years, it hardened and became concrete blocks, and it's a solid structure.
Yeah.
We use sandbags behind our place. We didn't use concrete mix. We probably should have, instead of $3 a bag, spent $6 a bag and gotten concrete, and we would have had the wall that you're talking about.
But you couldn't go to the town actually and ask.
I don't know if we can go to the city and ask them to do anything.
Right.
My guess is, with my past dealings with the city, that's not their problem. They're not going to help us.
Right.
Actually, may I chime in real quick? Debbie Lux is the mayor. She's a friend of mine. And I told her that we were having this meeting, and I wanted to hear what the outcome was from it, and that I was going to make an appointment to meet with her to talk about.
Well, I mean, look, if Debbie Lux wants to join our meeting and tell us what we can and can't do, I'm fine with that. I'm no Florida professional. I just know from my years living down there that you can't touch mangrove. And basically you're talking about dealing with the mangrove, because the mangrove is right there. The mangrove is what's protecting us. The mangrove is what's keeping us from washing into the creek. And if we dig a trench along the side to build a wall, we're jeopardizing, in my opinion, as a landscape industry guy, we're jeopardizing the mangrove itself.
Rob, am I wrong to say that
but yet it's the mangrove that's going to save us and has saved that building in numerous hurricanes now. When that mangrove lays down on the roof of the building and lets the wind blow over the top of it, that's why we're still there. So, no,
100%.
I'm not ready to
Well,
dig a trench down the back of the mangrove and kill it. You know, if that was ever even a consideration, you know, build a seawall instead of the mangrove. No, absolutely not. I mean, in the city, they'd never let you do that in Florida anyway.
Right.
Well, I completely understand that, but tell me if I'm wrong. Did they not clear a whole bunch of that mangrove out from behind?
One
No,
side of the
an
waterway.
independent unit owner cleared a whole bunch of it.
Unit owner.
We haven't been fined or reprimanded for that yet. So I mean, now I'm recorded saying that, so I guess I admitted knowing, but I'd rather
What-
not
What
discuss
when they
what
cleared
individual
the
unit owners do.
the big behind it where actual, you know, they there was
One side of the waterway was
Yeah,
complete.
they took out the whole one side of the waterway.
right.
Not our property. Don't know anything about it.
No, because I completely agree. The mangrove's there to protect everything, but I know a
Could
lot
we
was
plant more mangroves? Why
So,
can't we plant more
if anybody's
mangroves?
ever been over to Boca, they used to have the old Mercury engine outboard motor plant over there,
yeah.
just before the causeway and the drawbridge. And when they tore that old factory down and got rid of it all, they restored the mangrove. Okay, they probably did that 20 years ago, and there's no mangrove there yet.
Also,
Yeah, it can be done, but it takes a lot of time.
real quick, somebody told me about cattail. Planting cattail as an additional way to keep the water away. Is anybody familiar with cattail?
Invasive species. I mean, cattail is a common name. It could be Phragmites, which was introduced back in the 60s for erosion, but it's very invasive and takes over everything. And cattails themselves, the water's too salty.
So you don't recommend it?
Cattails themselves won't grow there because the water's too brackish. In my opinion, I'm just a northern landscaper / sprinkler guy. Okay. So can we plant things back there? Yeah. I mean, nobody's ever stopped you from planting things back there. Everybody's got something different behind their unit. And if you want to plant cattails, you can plant cattails as far as I'm concerned, so long as it's permitted by the state and the local authorities. Plant what you want. Nobody has ever told anybody in Charlotte Bay Villas that they can't plant something. So I'm all to it there. Anybody else want to talk on this subject?
Just one more comment on that, Rob. You know, when they put the bridge across a few years back and cleared the mangrove out of that area, was that the city or fishermen's that did that?
The city. That's the linear park, and that was always a rail bed. So
yeah. So Claire, if you've got somebody on the board, that might be an argument for you to use.
I mean, look, if you know people, knowing people is knowing people.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yes.
I mean, I don't think they're going to allow us to remove mangrove to build a seawall. I'm absolutely fine with entertaining the idea, and if anybody knows anybody that they can talk to, that's great. It's a long-term capital improvement project. It's nothing that's going to be done, you know, in the next year. It's something that we're going to plan for and save for, and maybe the future of the complex and the association. Yeah, I'm all for planning for that. I'm not looking to shoot anybody's ideas down, and I just don't think the erosion issue is that large of an issue. I believe it was caused by lack of maintenance, and now that we've improved the building and the runoff and everything else, and we're keeping up with the maintenance, so long as the gutters are kept clear, I don't see it as an issue. I don't see erosion as an issue. Flooding is the issue, and a seawall's not even going to stop the flooding. It's going to go right around it.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is new business, leaking lanai roofs. Back to you, Rose.
Yes, the roof is leaking. in between the walls that I just paid $1,800 to have finished. In between the adjoining walls. So that roof's not supposed to leak. I thought that was fixed.
Well, you thought wrong there. The lanai roofs have been leaking for the last, I don't know, 10 years.
Even on the south building, those weren't repaired?
Lanai roofs have never been repaired. They were supposed to have been replaced with the Ian thing and the Florida home contractors that screwed us. And we didn't get new roofs like we thought we were going to get. And they threatened to take us to court if we threatened to take them to court. And not being privy to any of the communications because Sandra was on the president of the board at that time. And nobody knew what kind of deal she had done or not done. We did not pursue. We were advised not to pursue, and we didn't. So no, lanai roofs have been leaking for years, and it's always been a thorn in everybody's side. But we've always had bigger, I don't know, bigger issues to address than the lanai roofs. The last thing that was discussed for a quick fix was to spray them with foam and to seal the top side, which was like a temporary kind of fix. But with the floods and everything that came up, that was never pursued. So here we are again. If we want to do something with the roofs, we can. We can have them replaced if we want, but we don't have the money. So not being budgeted for, if we want to do something, it's a special assessment. Further discussion?
Well, if all the lanais leak, they should all be fixed.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've always looked at it like the lanai is an outdoor room. It's screened on one side. Rain's going to blow in there. I've never worried about my roof leaking that much in the lanai. I don't really count it as indoor living space.
But
That's-
leaking
that's-
in between the
that's-
walls and down the back wall where your sliding glass door is.
So again, in my place, well, not the sliding glass doors, no. Not
It's
that bad.
leaking, it's leaking on the backside down where the sliding glass doors are also.
So that's a
There's a
flashing.
2-foot overhang from
Mm.
the second story before that. So that's water backing up on the roof. It can't possibly leak down that part of the roof with a 2-foot overhang unless the water's backing up on the roof. If the water's backing up on the roof, that means the gutters are plugged up and not draining. So the gutters need to be cleaned. It's a maintenance issue.
All right. But so see if Patrick will fix my,
No,
or just let it leak in between the walls.
well, it's not leaking in between the interior walls. It's leaking in between the lanai walls,
Correct.
right? Between next door and yours.
Yes.
So I don't know what he did for you. You were sheetrocked out there originally, which was never meant for outdoor use. Like in my unit, I used AZEK, which is it's a plastic wood. If it gets wet on the backside, I don't care. So again, I don't, these lanais, and it could be a can of beans. The lanais are limited common element, meaning not everybody has access to it, but they're all the same. And I don't have the exact definition, but
Okay.
if everybody treats it as their own and does their own thing inside of it, how can you hold the association responsible? And don't take this the wrong way. If you built a wood wall that doesn't belong outside, I don't feel the association should repair it, even if our roof is leaking over it. It's an
did what
outdoor,
Patrick
it's an outdoor
suggested.
room. It's an outdoor room. It should be built with outdoor materials that can take the elements. They should be able to get wet. If there's a leak, I mean, the room is not waterproof. So everything in the room should be waterproof. And if building materials are used that aren't waterproof, I don't feel that's an association issue. We didn't put those materials in there. The original dividers between the units was corrugated plastic. If the association is going to put something back, they're responsible to put back corrugated plastic. If people want to do improvements and make their place better, that's on them. They made their improvements individually, and it's not corrugated plastic anymore. So again, and when I give these speeches or whatever I'm giving, this is just my opinion. I'm one board member. We are the board. If anybody disagrees or has other comments, this is why we're here and why we're
I
meeting.
just wish I had had this information but from someone. I mean, I trusted Patrick. Patrick's the contractor. Why wouldn't he put?
I don't know what he used, but when I was there with you and the three of us stood in your lanai months ago,
Right?
and it was asked upon me what I thought, I was like, if you use cement board, we're good. But if you put sheetrock back, it's not meant to be outside. You're
It
gonna
wasn't sheetrock.
I don't know what he used. If it was cement board, then it doesn't matter if it gets wet. If the roof leaks and it gets wet on the backside, it's no big deal. It's cement
You
board.
used plywood on the.
That's bad.
Well, I mean, if it's AC plywood, which is meant for outdoors, okay. So maybe it is a question for. Look, we're getting a little off base. I still think the lanai roofs need to be replaced, and something has to be done with them.
But not that.
It's just, how are we going to handle it? And that's again why we're meeting as a board. Do we want to do a special assessment? The last time we got a price on them, I don't know. I think it was almost 80,000 a building or something like that. So we're talking 160,000, which is about 10,000 a unit.
WSV gave me an estimate of 48 for one building.
To do the whole building. 48,000 or 100?
48,000.
All right, so it's $100,000 project. So that's 7,500 per unit.
Temporarily, maybe someone can get up on the roof and assess it. It might be just a simple flashing issue. And
Well,
if that's the case, it might just need metal and
Yeah,
some.
those lanai roofs have been crushed from people walking on them. I can sit in my lanai and look up on the day sky and see pinholes and light through it all over the place.
Well, then we'll just have to
It's
deal
not
with
just
it
a
right now.
flashing thing. I mean, could you go up there with Flex Seal and spray over some of the things and slow the leaks down? Yeah,
I don't know. I had mine redone, so but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It
Go ahead.
depends. I think we need to, at the moment, like you said, we don't have the money, and you're just going to have to live with it. That's it.
Or raise the money and get it done.
Yeah, we
I don't know
discussed
how
before the hurricanes, we discussed about having it coated, and I can't remember, Mark knew something about it, and I think it's like a 5-year deal, which would have gave us time to slow or stop leaks and have 5 years to come up with the funds without doing an assessment. I'm personally not averse to doing an assessment. It's whatever we need to make the place whole, so we're good. But I know a lot of people do have an issue with assessments, so
Right.
I wouldn't have a problem if we could come up and get a price on getting them sealed. There's a lot of great sealant products today. They aren't huge built lanais anyhow. If we can get some kind of warranty or coverage for 3 to 5 years, then we have a window of time to raise money to put new roofs on these things.
I mean, they do have elastomeric white roof coating, and I use it up north here. on trailers. I don't do too many of them, but that seems to be putting a Band-Aid on it and kind of works temporarily. And it's roughly $100 a 5-gallon can that goes about 200 square feet. One, and you have to put 2 coats on it. So in reality, you got 5 gallons, so you'll need about maybe $200 worth of coating to go 100 square feet, if you're figuring 2 coats. So I mean, but yes, it's a cheap Band-Aid. Maybe it can help. And in my way of thinking, if you want to try it on a couple of them, see if it really works. If not, don't waste your money on the whole project.
I mean, I agree with that too. That's just something to bide time until money can be
Right,
raised.
but
and can
do
budget
a
it for.
1 or 2 of them and see if it works. If it doesn't work, forget it. But if
Yeah.
it works, then move forward with the rest.
Well, Rosie, why don't you go ahead and have Patrick quote us on just putting some kind of a coating on top of it, and I'll do the same
Elastomeric.
on mine.
It needs to be white elastomeric roof coating.
Yep.
If it's not that, then it's not worth anything. It has to be, so it has the ability to, it has elasticity,
Right, it's got to have that in the heat and cold. So yeah, I get that.
right, and be white to reflect the ultraviolet, so it'll work. They use that on metal roofs up north and down south.
They use that here in
So,
Vegas too because it handles the heat really well. So
right, so elastomeric white roof coating, put it on there, see if it works, and go from there. But I
Okay.
definitely don't think we
Rose,
should.
we'll discuss this offline, and I'll get a link to a product, and we'll just ask Patrick how much to have it sprayed on.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, Mark.
All right.
And
It
then we'll
might
make
work.
it up.
Because I have exactly the same problem you do, Rose.
Try it out, see if it works, but don't spend a ton of money on it right now.
That's a good idea.
I'm all for
Okay.
Band-Aids if we have a long-term path to get out of the Band-Aid.
There you go. It
Yeah.
might work. It does in some projects. So we'll see if it works. It'll fill the pinholes for sure. But it'll be a Band-Aid basically. Hold up a little bit.
So,
Not perfect, but okay.
the next agenda on the agenda would be any further new business. Is there anything else that anybody would like to bring before the board this evening?
I'm still having some roof leaks issues.
What?
In my bedroom that it's been continuously from like the past roof work, and it still looks like I don't live there right now, but it's obvious. I've taken some pictures, and I know I can't remember the gentleman.
We've had Galloway working on the roof for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, and
I don't live there right now, Rob. So I went over and checked it, and I see that there's an issue. So that's why I'm addressing it.
okay, well, could you very much please get us those photos as soon as possible, because as far as we know, they're wrapping up the project. And, everybody said everything was great. So this is
Okay, well, also, I mean,
first glitch.
if you remember, and I'm
Daniel?
just saying, if you remember prior to like this whole like, hurricane issue, I already had issues with them with leaking, and they were going to address it, and then of course we have hurricanes and all
As far
this.
as I knew, it was
There's
all
like
addressed. Daniel, will you make sure that they know that there's still leaking issues in unit 49, please?
So, I mean, okay, I need pictures sent to me.
I will, all right,
And
I will,
then I need
I
to
have your
know,
email address. I will send it to you.
So when you say that it's still leaking,
Okay, so
hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, please. 1 second, and then I'll listen to you. We can't talk the same time. So what I need are pictures. Let me finish, please. And show that they're after rain, go over there after rain and show that there's a picture of the dampness on the ceiling. Because I don't want to see that it's dried out and after. So when you go there, maybe during a rain, and you take a picture at the ceiling and show that it's damp, because then it'll show evidence that it's still leaking, or even water on the floor would even be good. Water, dampness on the ceiling and dampness on the floor, and and the room that it's in, approximately where it's located, and that will work. But if it's dry during when it's raining, then it's an old leak. Okay?
I will also show you pictures from the same spots that were an issue with Galloway prior to the hurricanes. So this is an
No, I need it. I
ongoing problem that
understand.
Galloway was going to address, but
No, I need it now.
sidestepped because of
Hold
the
on a second.
hurricanes.
Hold on a second, please. You said that it's
You
leaking
know,
now.
I was down there all winter and went into your unit after every single rainstorm and saw no signs of anything. And
Thank
I did
you, Rob.
every single
Okay, I
one.
will show you all the pictures. I will send you all the pictures, the historical pictures of the same spots.
No, I don't need,
You don't need historical if it's been fixed, but
No,
I went in your unit after every rainstorm, especially when we found water on the laundry room floor, and there were no signs of leaks
I need
anywhere.
to see it now. Now, the ceiling, go in when it's raining, when it's pouring rain, show me
can't
that
be
it's
historical.
dripping. And show me where it's dripping on the floor and the ceiling's damp and proximate location. That is a leak. I do this for a living every day.
Okay, Daniel, no problem. Got it.
That will justify it leaking. But if it's dry,
I hope we
and
don't
it's
have
the
a leak.
past, it's not
I
leaking.
really do.
I really don't know. I hope it's not leaking.
We all
But
do.
if it is, I'll deal with it and I want to
it will
see
be.
it, and then I can address it and not pay them until they fix it.
Mhm.
But I need to show that it actually is leaking now, not that
Okay,
it leaked
thank
months
you.
ago. Okay, show
Good.
it to me that it's leaking. Go in there when it's raining.
Anything else? Anybody else? So we've got Ron and Paul. You guys good? You got any questions?
No, we're good.
All right.
Everything's
Rob, give
okay.
them my email.
And D, you good? Diane, you still awake over there in England?
Yeah, so, sorry, we had just muted the
All
back.
right, that's good. So you guys are good? We're gonna
yeah,
wrap
Rob.
things up here. All right.
Hey,
Rob,
Rob, give her my email, okay?
Do what?
Rob,
Or what is it, Claire, to have her send you to send you the pictures of evidence of it leaking and drips and all
If
that
I
stuff?
get them, I'll send them right on to you.
Yeah, I want to see
You
it.
got your email.
Okay.
You were on the
Drips,
board with her when
dampness,
she
the whole bit, okay?
I think.
Thank you.
hey, Rob,
Yes, ma'am, sir.
Rob, can you stay on this call for a minute?
I don't know if I can or not.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
just wanted to
I
catch
have
up with you.
time.
that's
I
all.
just don't know how the whole Zoom thing works.
Well, I think if everyone disappears, we'll still be there.
Once we adjourn the meeting, I can leave it open so that you guys can talk.
Thank
The
you.
only thing I wanted to mention is the next meeting is theoretically July 4th, which is impossible.
Yeah, that won't.
So we can either go to do it on the 27th of June or the 11th of July.
I would say the
27th.
11th of July.
I would say the same.
Okay.
All right, hopefully I'll be there.
Also, if you have receipts on work done, get it to me so we can get these things submitted to Palmer so we can get people paid.
That's,
Talking to me, or?
I have none from you, Rob.
Carpenter Kings on my ceiling.
I'm
I'll
just
get them
getting
fixed to
started.
you.
You'll hear. From me.
Arnold, send it to you.
Mark,
Yeah, you can send it to me and I'll forward it through it as it goes.
Yes.
Send it to,
did you get my receipts for the kitchen cabinets?
We did.
Okay, good.
okay.
Okay.
I have a question. I believe at the last meeting, I don't know, it was Rob or Mark, said we were going to get some payment for water leakage from quite some time ago, and there was a number mentioned. I haven't seen that check yet.
I don't know why that would be, Paul. I will most definitely put a note into Mr. Palmer and find out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was a motion that was passed, so that should have
Yes.
already happened.
It was.
I definitely
As I said,
remember.
No reason for it. Just probably because I was supposed to send an email and didn't. I
Okay.
apologize.
No problem.
I would have to blame myself, I'm sure.
Thank you for all you do.
Okay.
You don't have to worry. I'm still above ground and still eating.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, board
bye.
members.
Bye-bye.
especially for all your help.
Bye,
I'm gonna make a
Bye
motion,
to England.
motion to adjourn at 4:55.
I second it.
Bye, Claire.
Bye.
All right.
Miss you.
Motion is
Miss you.
made
Bye.
to adjourn, seconded, all in favor.
Bye.
Aye.
Good
Bye.
night,
Thank you,
all.
everyone.